Quest log, Cascadia update. I've just been flown in here by the kindness of strangers to Seattle, Washington for the Cascadia Biophi Conference, where the bioregion of Cascadia is effectively seeding from the imaginary of the United States into its own sovereign region with its own community, its own language, its own culture, its own currencies, and its own vision for what the world should be. And in their mind, it should be a regenerated paradise where everybody's basic needs are met and we live in harmony with the land, learning from and living with the indigenous people who have lived on this land as themselves for time immemorial. We're going to figure out if finance and nature can be reconciled. We're going to ask once and for all whether another world is possible.
Tough act to follow. I just want to kind of clear, just everybody kind of root and ground into that sort of childlike wonder. I feel like we're in this redwood forest of possibility right now in this space, in this amazing sort of biodiversity of narrative potentials, that every seat here is an amazing story that took an amazing story to get to that story. And so before we talk about what that is, a story, what it means, and what it means for our future, and how we can change the world with this ancient technology, this most ancient system, just take a breath and just sort of like clear everything out and just go to that place where everything is possible. A friend of mine does this thing when I get a little anxious and start talking too fast. He says, put your hand on your heart and just remember it's already happened. Like it's here. We're already there. Like the ball is in motion. You can't turn the ship around. So story is everything. We're all in a story. Our life is a story. We are a story. Money is a story. Nation states are stories. The lines on the map are fiction. Law is a metaphysical construct. All of these things are symbols and stories. And the whole matrix of consumer culture was created by public relations, marketing, and advertising to convince us of a world that is not real, that has taken precedence over the biophysical reality of planet Earth. As we look around the world today, we see such chaos, such absurd, wanton destruction and waste. And we see a story that has decimated the real world through this crazy abstraction. And it's easy to lose hope when you look at that. But when you get the joke, everything flips around because you realize stories made this world. Imagination created all of this structure of concrete cities, of banking infrastructures, of crippling debt, of the toppling of nation states. An idea did that. And I believe that a new idea, a new story can take us further, can take us beyond that. And the art of narrative is to take the problem and turn it into your triumph. I want to take you guys through a system that I've been divining, that I've been living by my whole life, that I'm calling the meta myth, which is the concoction of Another World is Possible, the storytelling federation that I'm working to birth. So, okay, first of all, what is a story? Stories are our essence. Like, we are the storytelling organism. Like, consciousness is not what makes us human, because dogs and crows and whales and forests are conscious. We know that. We're smart. Human beings perceive something that doesn't exist yet and then believe it so firmly that we make it real. And we are very, very good at rearranging the physical structures of reality and the laws of physics as we know them to make that story real. So when we understand this process, we understand the transformative potential that every one of us has in the work that we do. And as we evolve currency and governance and we create all this new technology, I'm here to help remember story as that technology to get us from here to there and to turn crisis into opportunity. And so basically the meta myth is this sort of essential story structure. It's the structure that's embedded, I believe, in the cells that make us up, that there is a story in all of us. And it really is very simple. How did we get here? Why are we here? Where are we going? How do we get there? And who do we need to make that story real? Okay, so the first stage of this journey, of course, is the call to adventure, which in our case, I mean, in most cases, is the end of a previous story. And so we're here to talk about finance. Finance comes from the word finar, fin, the end. And so finance is about endings. It's about cessation. It's about clearing. We're done. Severing that relationship. And so I believe we're here at the end of the end, at the fin of fin, to create a new story. We were talking last night about gen ants, the Genesis ants, this new magic of something that is at the beginning. But right now, the beginning of the story starts in the problem. It starts in why are we here? How did we get here in this catastrophizing, crazy world? Okay, so yeah, we know why we're here. That basically we have separated ourselves from nature. We are decoupled from the biophysical reality. We are in fear and scarcity because we have separated ourselves from nature. And so our financial system, I would say, is a core problem of that because it's a mechanism of scarcity, and it perpetuates itself through scarcity and through endless growth, which is a paradox that's tearing the world apart. So our problem, the statement of why we're here, is a separation and a disconnection and the scarcity that is generated by our economic system. Okay, now we move into what do we do about that? Why are we here? And we're not actually here to do bioregional finance. That's just a means to an end. We're here for a deeper purpose. Why are we here? Why are all of you here? Why are these chairs filled with people? Why are we here? To grow the more beautiful world we know is possible. We'll get there. That's next. So essentially, the purpose that we're here for is to reconnect with nature and is to embed ourselves back into that loving framework of the real and natural world that has always taken care of us and will always take care of us, and to ground ourselves back into place, into a world that makes sense, into a foundation that we can build any world that we choose in this beautiful bioregional way where we're not prescribing one world over the other because there's not one story. And that's the problem that money has committed to us, that there's one God, there's one story, there's one value system. Okay, so we have our purpose, we have the heart. When you have that goal, you know why you're here. Nothing can stop you, nothing can take you down. And it's a myth that purpose and profit actually don't mix, that purpose-driven enterprises are like 42% more effective, even in a pure market sense, because people want to buy into something. They don't just want to buy something. So this is a framework for actually transcending the old story, but it's building a bridge into the new one. We know why we're here. I think everybody here really knows that. A lot of people have lost their purpose, and the world is not on purpose. We're not consciously creating the world that we want. And so the best that many of us can hope for is a reactive thing where we want more of this, or we want more of that, or, oh, I just need this, like I'm bleeding, and you need to just like plug that hole. I want to step out of that. And I want to have everybody just really root super duper deep down into that beautiful world we know is possible, that we know it's possible. This is the next phase. This is the crucial, the heart of everything is what is possible. Once we know why we're here, okay, if we do that, what is possible? What is the world after we've succeeded perfectly? That is where we build and design and dream from, not from inching our way toward that, like we're on Mount Everest crawling towards something, you know? What is possible? If we succeed, if we achieve this, if bioregionalism returns, if we return, if our bioregions are strong and connected, and we are reconnected, and love flows once again, and our purpose is realized, what is possible? So I like to think about in this phase, the what is possible phase, that there's horizons of this. What are the sort of 3 horizons? Like, we know the world that we want to get to. It's beautiful. It's like every bioregion is its own extremely dense, diverse, vibrant space that is totally unique, that is completely in abundance because it realizes the regenerative capacity of nature, will always support us, always. That there's nothing we can go without if we regenerate. We're hanging out with the animals. Biodiversity is just explosive. You cannot count the plants and animals that we see and relate to on a daily basis. So we understand that that world is where we're trying to get to, this beautiful space. So like what's halfway? I would say it's bioregional movements popping up like spores all over the world, emerging, finding themselves, remembering, connecting, a network of bioregions that is starting to sort of bring humanity back to its proper place and show people what reality is. And then so from there we work back to, all right, what is our mission? What is the first step? Where are we right now that we can reorient ourselves around not a static statement that's going to go on a website. Our mission statement. Our mission is to end homelessness in the Tri-County area. You know, like, what is the mission that we live and breathe? And the mission is really like getting down to brass tacks. It's like, it's hard strategy. All right, we know where we want to go. And this is different phases of the system are more important or more difficult for different people. Like, a lot of people have done really well in this world, in this system, and they're rich in money and sales and customers and donors, but maybe they're not so rich in purpose. A lot of the change makers I meet this is the part where they really struggle, because they're dreamers, they're visionaries. They see this brilliant world and all this crap and financial institutions and laws and legal structures. All of this is in the way. And so we really need to become strategists and see story as a strategic aspect of ourselves, to co-create ourselves very intentionally as a bridge to the world that we're in today, and as a journey and a roadmap to get through those hard obstacles. That we want to own our obstacles. We want to realize that those are our strengths, and we don't want to hide them away and just pretend like everything's fine on social media. Like, if you're struggling for cash, make that part of your story, you know, that we struggle for cash because we're in a system that doesn't support advanced, amazing, radical, transformative thinkers like us, and we are here to realize and change that. So this is I don't know how to throw this out to the audience of like what are some next steps? What are some immediate practical steps that we can use to strategically align ourselves to realize this vision? Find the others. Yes, find the others. Create these networks where we are sending out these pulses all around and calling in the right people and finding the other people who get it. And stop wasting your time trying to preach to the choir, and we need to move out of these economies of scale where we're just trying to hit as many people as possible, because we're like operating in an operating system that was made to pump out as many shoes as possible from a factory. That's not the world we live in. We live in a world of economies of scope where we're trying to find those people that we are hyper connected to and speak directly to their heart and soul and craft this story as the Excalibur that's going to slice through the bullshit and cut right to the heart of who we need. The last part of the story in this structure is the call, the invitation. Is where the story turns back around. It goes from your call to adventure, your hero's journey, into that call to a kindred quest, which is really beyond the individual. It's going into that cooperation, into that extended network. It's finding that story, understanding it in your bones, aligning everyone in the organization to it so that everybody lives and breathes it and understands where it's going and very precisely how to get there. And then broadcasting that story out into the world to say, we need you to finish this story, and then charting an engagement pathway, not a linear sales funnel, but a sort of hero's journey that you're sort of designing, and we're working to develop media systems to put media as the invocation at each of the points to initiate people into each turning point, to craft a journey that people come into in that journey. Who do we need in this story? Who do we need? And speaking the world into existence, this is the essence of it all. We are speaking the world that we want into existence, and the more precise you are with that speech, the more you're going to get it. But they know that they need community. They know that they need healthy food. They know that they need more time in nature. And we can always find people and connect with them and meet them where they're at. And I just think this is a sort of an essential philosophical kind of break from the larger thing. It's like we have to understand that and meet people where they are. And not be like, oh, people are stupid, they don't get it, if only they just understood. That's your responsibility, to very kindly understand that we've all been duped by a bad story. And that we don't know any better until we do. And then we do, and we share it, and we spread it, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. And so as we come to this close of this little monomythic sprint through this process that takes, as long as it takes for people to find the answers to these questions and really embody and live them. We understand that we're creating a regenerative feedback loop where we are envisioning something beautiful. We are calling it in. We are bringing in the resources, the talent, the capital, the energy that we need to make that shit real. And then we tell a new story. And we need to learn that bullshit runs the world, and that our system, our financial system, bringing it full circle, is based on speculation and hype. It is based on bullshit. Yes. And if we realize that, we can try fighting it, or we can just be like, oh, we are storytellers. Yeah. We were born to tell stories, and we are living a much better story than any of these tech bros, no offense if you're a tech bro, can imagine. So what story do you guys want to tell? Like, what is the story that we're living through here? I mean, that's the endless question. That's the question I want to leave you on. That's the question I don't want to leave you on. That's the question I want to begin on. This is the beginning of a new way of thinking about how we tell stories, how we understand the stories that we're living in, and how we consciously change our world together. You know? And so, yeah, like, imagination is everything. It is the way out. We are not going to, like, tinker our way out of this. We have to dream our way out. We have to envision it. And I don't just mean in an airy-fairy, complete idealistic way, because we can't just make paper proclamations or shout at the system. Frederick Douglass said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand." And I've been demanding things with activist groups for decades. And I say, demands without power are just wishes. And so we need to envision a better world, a vision, and remember the purpose of the human being, and create a mission to actually build our way out of this world into that new world, taking every single step together, holding each other up, realizing it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very difficult, but we have each other. God damn it, we have the mueria. We have all the sum total of all our commitments and capacities. We have each other. No matter what happens, if the moon falls, if the oceans rise, we have each other. And we will find a way out of this. We will find a way through this. And we'll do it here and here. We'll do it in our imagination. And then we'll make it real. Painstakingly real. Strategically, brilliantly, financially viable. And we will make it real in every way if we come together and make it that our purpose, make that our goal. So, and yeah, I just want to say what he said about purpose is absolutely true. Every single one of us has a purpose. We are here for a reason. Give yourselves a hand because you found it. You found your purpose. And if you're still working that out and figuring it out, I got to do a little shilling here because I have a mission. My mission is to help you figure out your mission. My mission is to help expand purpose and raise the stakes of those problems and send that vision out into the stratosphere of what is truly possible. So Another World is Possible is building an end-to-end storytelling infrastructure, a federation of change makers. We're working with people like beautiful Sean right here to create AI systems to, take this ancient wisdom and bring it into modern technological systems. We're working to assemble the best and brightest minds, the most brilliant wizards and change makers. We're working to create an ecosystem of all these projects. We want to find these projects. We want to give them these tools. We want to take them through the system, crack that story, shoot the most beautiful content possible, craft that engagement pathway, understand and defeat the banality of marketing and advertising, and do it better. Do it for good. Like, there's like 15-year-old TikTokers right now that are like, bringing in millions of eyeballs to nonsense. We need to learn how to do that for good and bring people into these revolutions. Sorry, I'm in regeneration movements. But anyway, yeah, it's a revolution, and it starts with all of us finding that purpose and living into it. And so, yeah, if you guys have a story out there, if you have a purpose, or if you feel like it's just dawning on you, like, connect with me. I want to help you do it. I'm here to help tell these stories. I found the wellspring of stories. I found the gold mine. Every one of you here is just like sparkling with amazing potential. And I see very precisely the ways that potential is not being realized or not taken far enough. And I'm working to weaponize that with a crack pirate ship of myth makers to envision and realize this new world so beautifully that people aren't like, oh, I need to believe in this. No, you don't have to believe in it. It's already happening. It's already here. It's here and now, and all we have to do is show up and be ourselves. Another world is possible. Is it? Is another world? Is it possible? Fuck yeah, another world is possible.